earlier, although I believe we're going to need an interpreter. Mr. Munoz, do you speak English?
Yes, I do.
All right, very good. Well, you're quite early, but there's no reason why we can't do your case early when the attorney's here. We're off to a standing start with our first case. We have now we've lost everybody. But I think the attorney is in court in another jurisdiction.
At the risk of perpetuating the trend, Judge, I'll be right back. But you obviously don't need me.
Yes, we'll do the best we can. All right, we've got Patrick Bernett. Good morning. You're logged in as Patrick Bernett. Which case are you here on?
Would you like the case number?
Yeah, who's your apartment complex?
Vista Point Apartments.
All right, and are you with Elizabeth Jenkins?
No. Like sitting next to me, or?
Yeah, I
No,
don't.
Elizabeth Jenkins is another case.
All right, let's see where he is.
His was at 910, I believe.
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Bradshaw or Mr. Fleeman should be joining us momentarily. Waiting to see if anyone else logs in. All right, I'm going to go ahead and advise Mr. Munoz and Mr. Bernett of their rights as tenants in a landlord type proceeding. Good morning, this is Judge Middleton. I'm here, Mr. Fleeman, at the court in Centerville, and you're at your various locations. I think each of these are non-payment of rent cases. Also with us is Josie Moreno. She is the manager at Vista Meadows, and Mr. Tyrone Fleeman has just joined us from the Fleeman and Bradshaw Law Office. And morning, and Attorney Meg Bauer is here from Legal Aid of Western Michigan. As defendants in landlord-tenant proceedings, including non-payment of rent, you have the following legal rights. You have the right to obtain counsel for representation in this matter. If you cannot afford an attorney, a legal aid attorney may be available to help you. And as I indicated, Meg Bauer is here from legal aid, and she may be able to give advice this morning. And if you're eligible, they may be able to represent you if it comes to that. You can also hire an attorney of your own choosing if you wish. You have a right to have the case heard in St. Joseph County where the property is. You have a right to demand a trial in front of a judge or a jury. If you wish to have a jury trial, you must tell the court at this hearing, your first appearance, or make a demand in writing within 5 days of this appearance using the jury demand form. You have to pay a $50 jury demand fee unless the court grants you a waiver of that fee because you're unable to pay it. Your landlord has asked you to be evicted from a residential property because you haven't paid rent. You may be able to get assistance from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, a local coordinated entry agency, housing assessment and resource agency in our county, that is Neighborhood Inc., or a federal Help for Homeless Veterans program if you are a veteran and eligible for veterans assistance. You do not need a judgment, despite what DHS may tell you, to get assistance. The summons and complaint which you've already received are sufficient. If both parties are agreeable to having the case attempted to be settled through mediation, the court can help set it up and refer the matter for mediation. If you're able to reach an agreement with the landlord, that means the case gets dismissed. It could be filed what is called a conditional order of dismissal, and we will either tell you where to find that form or provide you with it. Mr. Bernett, let me take care of the first couple of Mr. Fleeman's matters, and then we'll come back to place management. No one is here on behalf of that defendant, so let the clock take a minute. But it sounds like we're in two courts at once. We're getting feedback from your other appearance. Do you have to be someplace else? Mr.
I do
Bernett?
not. I do not. Thank you for your patience.
All right, well, let's take a minute and we'll do these. And Mr. Fleeman's with me for the duration, I think.
Good part of the morning.
Mr. Bernett is here. Who is with you?
This is my girlfriend, Lillian Sickles.
Does she live there also?
Yes.
This is filed as a demand for non-payment of rent. Rent is $750 per month, and it appears to be substantially in arrears. At the time of filing, it was $24.40 plus costs. Mr. Fleeman, what's the current circumstance?
Your Honor, it looks like there's been a payment since then. I'm looking at a ledger balance of $1,840 plus court cost of $201.36 for a total of $2,041.36. And that was as of the 8th. So if you've made a payment since the 8th, Mr. Bernett, I'm saying I don't have it on my ledger yet.
No, actually, after this court case, I have a check for $437. I have $400 in cash, and I plan to put $300 with that, so I'll be making $1,100 right after the meeting, and then heading back to work.
So if you make that 1,100, that'll bring you down to like 941.36.
Yep, and Ms. Moreno and I had talked this morning through text message, and I will have the remainder of the balance paid up by the 24th of May, and then we'll be completely caught up.
Okay.
All right, well, let's talk about that. The law requires that I continue this matter for at least 7 days. 7 days from now is 17th of May, and you would have until May 27th. You get 10 days from that day to move out. One option is to simply agree now that you agree to have the balance paid by May 27th. That would save you having another here.
Absolutely.
So are you willing to do that?
Yes.
All right, is that acceptable to you, Mr. Fleeman?
That is, Your Honor, and I am filling out a form that, Mr. Bernett, you probably heard Judge talk about the consent order for conditional dismissal. That's what I'm
Yep.
filling out right there. And essentially that would tell the court computer system we're dismissing this case contingent upon you paying 2041.36 on or before May 27. As long as you do, case stays dismissed, never comes back to life. If you don't, then on the 28th...
Let's put
they
the
would have-
28th. The 28th is, 27th is Memorial Day, so let's do the 28th for the day.
I'm changing that to the 28th. So if you didn't pay by the 28th, on the 29th, they could come back to court and get the judgment, the order of eviction. But it sounds like you're going to have that handled, so that's not an issue. If you want to give an email address, I can email you a copy of this at the same time as I send it to the court.
Yeah, break that
Let
down.
me put you in the breakout so you can do that privately. I don't want you to
Oh, that's
email
right.
on the live feed. So let me put you in the breakout for just a moment, and then we'll take care of Mr. Van Eck, and then we'll come back to. So, Mr. Bernett, you just hit the button that says join, and then
There
you
it is.
can go on about your business. So everything has been paid, will be paid. You don't have to come back to court. If you don't pay, you could be subject to being evicted on or after May 28th. You understand? Oh, he's gone. All right. We've got a couple other people in the waiting room. Let's see who those are. See if they're Mr. Van Eck's tenant. What court were you in?
Thank you, Your Honor. 61st District Court, Judge Neal.
Okay, I didn't know anybody else started at 8 o'clock. I guess it's
Oh.
9, so we're all right.
They're supposed to start at 8:30. They were held up until about 10 to 9.
All right, well, that sometimes happens. We've got Alex Rosario, and we've got an iPhone. Who's on the iPhone?
I'm not on an iPhone.
No,
I'm on
that's,
the
It's Elizabeth Jenkins.
what's your name again?
Elizabeth Jenkins.
All right, Miss Jenkins, let me give you a name.
I was told the case was dismissed, but they still told me that I had to show up because I don't
Yes.
think they reviewed the dismissal.
All right, stick around. I think you're correct. We're going to make a record on it. I'm glad you're here. But right now, we're going to take up the matter of place management versus Zoe Howell and Kiera Johnson. They were both personally served. Attorney Todd Van Eck is here for the complex. And Ginger Hensley, their manager, is present. Defendants are not present. They were personally served, so they could be subject to being evicted. According to my notes, the rent is $795 per month, and the arrearage at the time of filing was $552. Mr. Van Eck, what's the current status?
Thank you, Your Honor. The tenants still haven't paid in full. The rent to retain possession is $740.99. There is other money due of $47.50. We show costs in the amount of $212.01 for a total of $1,000.50.
What are the costs? What's that $47.50?
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm anticipating it's a late fee, but if Ms. Hensley can help me with that, I'd appreciate it.
I am not showing a cost of 47. Oh, I see. So we've got a $35 late fee for May, and then $12.50 for insurance, which is required.
All right. Are you going to ask for a default?
Yes, Your Honor.
were off 1 penny. You've asked.
We'll concede the penny either way.
All right. Well, I won't scratch it out. It's 1,051 cents, but you got 1,050, and I'll leave it. 10 days from today is the 5th. Miss Hensley, are they still there?
Yes.
Have you had any contact with them?
Minimal. They did send a text and said they would pay, but they've said that before.
Well, essentially, they're only about May's rent behind, and a late fee and insurance fee. Of course, we added court costs, but they are subject to default, and I'm going to enter that default in the amount pled for, $740.99, $47.50 in late and insurance, and costs of $212.01. Part of the reason the costs were high is that it served 2 people. Date for the writ and the appeal is May 20th. Mr. Van Eck, you filled everything out. It looks good, so I'm not going to scratch it out to add 1 penny. And that default judgment enters. And if they pay, I guess then it's good, and they'll pay June's rent and back on track.
That's the plan.
All right, you probably got another court to be in. Miss Hensley, thank you. I'm glad your complex didn't suffer any more damage. We were not exactly joking, but you guys didn't need any more water damage or anything in that place. But you were about a softball's throw away from the edge of where the tornado was, so I'm glad you came out unscathed. So we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the esteemed Mr. Tyrone Fleeman has rejoined us after his breakout session. Mr. Bernett, do you have any questions?
Not that I can think of. No.
All right, we'll submit that conditional order of dismissal, and good luck to you. I'll remove you and you can get back to work.
Thank you. Have a good day, sir.
Thank you. All right, now Elizabeth Jenkins has joined us. I have received an order of dismissal in that case, Mr. Fleeman. She was told she probably should appear anyway, just in case, and she is here. What's the status there?
Your Honor, I'm showing that we did file a dismissal just yesterday, or maybe it was the day before we signed it and probably sent it in yesterday. And the clerk your clerk had responded back, can't cancel the hearing until you got back because you were out of the office for a couple of days. So that was that's probably why John told her to go ahead and show up just in case there was some issue. But no, as far as we're concerned, we're dismissing the case.
You hear that, Miss Jenkins?
Yes.
All right.
Now that if I can say something.
Yes?
I recognize the last people that were just here, and you said something about some water damage, correct? I have
that was a different apartment building.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's the same. It's like really close to mine. And
no, it's in Centerville.
Oh, okay, my bad. But in this complex, I have a problem with some water. Where I take a shower, the people from upstairs, and I already told the landlord, it's been going on for at least 6 months. The people from upstairs, every time they shower, the water, it's like my bathroom ceiling, it's leaking. So all the dirty water that they produce, like literally I could be taking a shower and they could be taking a shower and I would be showering in their dirty water. And I've told the landlord multiple times. I have proof of maintenance records.
All right,
they always say they're gonna do it, they never do it.
Right. Miss Moreno, did you hear all that?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
All right, you made a record of it. You do have a right to withhold your rent and pay it into escrow if they fail to make necessary repairs. But I'm not going to advise you on that at this hearing. This case is dismissed, but it's on the record. Your manager is aware that you have a complaint about your water, and hopefully they'll address that.
I mean, I have 2 kids, and I'm concerned about my kids. I mean, I could care less about myself, but my kids are on that shower too, and like I said, it's dirty water from the upstairs people.
involved.
I don't think it's fair for my
To the
children.
health department.
Well, all right. You've documented it here. I hope they can take care of it. You're good to go.
Judge, I'm happy
Thank
to
you, Your
help
Honor.
with it.
Have a good day.
All right, just a minute. Would you like to talk to the people from legal aid?
Yes, of course.
All right, let me close the other room, get Mr. Fleeman out of this one. As I indicated, I've only seen anyone do it right about once or twice. Darn it. But there is a way you can withhold your rent until they repair it.
Yeah, I did not want to jeopardize and get evicted, so I'm so glad that I still showed up this meeting.
All right, well, let me put you in the breakout room with a representative from legal aid. Hit the button that says join.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
Okay. All right, that's dismissed, although it still took some time. We have at 9:30. Might as well do it right now. Well, I'll set that aside because it's not. Well, it's just about. Vista Meadows versus Bobby Grigg and Corey Chapman is also dismissed without prejudice.
That's correct, yep. And I think that's all I've got for dismissals.
All right. Well, we've got some guess what cases. Jose Rosario
Present, sir.
is present. Alex Rosario. Guess what had been Mr. Thornton's client, I think, for some time. And now the Bradshaw office has got it. Anyway, Mr. Rosario was not here when I went through the rights. Mr. Munoz was, and we'll go ahead and take care of Mr. Munoz, and then we'll go back to Mr. Rosario and see if anybody else logs in. Mr. Munoz, can you hear me?
I can.
This is another Vista Point case. Josie, the manager from Vista Point, is still here. It's a non-payment of rent case. Rent was substantially behind. Mr. Brett Fleeman, what's the status here?
Your Honor, I'm looking at your balance of $2,800 in rent, utilities of $226.99, court costs were $201.36, for a total amount of $3,228.35.
Mr. Munoz, what's your position here?
I've already told the tenant that I will be making payments every week, every Friday, so I can get caught up on that. I wasn't able to at first because I wasn't working. That was our reason. Work goes up and down.
Yes, it
But
does.
I found a stable job now that hopefully I'll be able to catch that up here soon.
All right, well, the law requires that we continue this matter at least 7 days. And so 7 days today from today would be next Friday, May 17th. You would then get 10 days from that day to pay the rent or move. However, the landlord can agree with you to work out a plan to repay the rent. So that was perhaps something that can be discussed. But Mr. Fleeman, I think the safest thing to do at this point would be just continue the matter until next Friday.
Judge, let me double check, make sure I'm not double booking myself. Would you be doing it in the morning again?
Yes, in the morning. I'm thinking at 10:25.
I'm good for the 17th. I'm going to do 5/17 at 10. What'd you say?
25.
25. Great. And Judge, if you want to put us into a breakout room with Josie, I can speak with Mr. Munoz and then see if we can work out some form of a
Well, I would like to, but I can't put a telephone into the breakout room, I don't think.
Oh. Judge, can you text me or can you chat me his phone number maybe? No,
I don't think I can put a telephone. Mr. Munoz, you're either going to have to be here live or have a better connection than just calling. And for one thing, I can't see you, so I don't know that I'm really talking to you. For another, it doesn't give us the ability to let you talk privately with him. A little later this morning, Mr. Freeman will call you and see if we can work out the terms of your repayment agreement.
Well, Judge, I don't have his number. Mr. Munoz, do you have the paperwork that we sent you with the pink and white copies? It'll have my phone number on there under John D. Bradshaw PC. Do you have that?
Okay, yeah, I find it for him.
You see that? Because
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
okay, and that says extension 122. My extension is 115.
You said 115?
Yes, sir. And give me a call, later on this morning. I've got several this morning, but give me a call later on, and we'll see if we can work something out and get you a pay plan set up.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
All right, very good. Either way, if the matter is resolved with a conditional order, I'll advise you of that. But otherwise, I will see you next Friday, May 17th at 10:25 in the morning.
Okay.
All right, good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Josie, I think that finishes your cases, doesn't it?
No, I think she's here on the Jose Rosario.
Oh, so you're guessing too, okay.
Judge, I'm guessing that property switched management companies, and that's how we come to be doing them now.
That's fine. Obviously, you do a very good job on your cases, but so did Mr. Thornton. He does quite a bit here. He's represented that company for a while, and he does a good job on his cases. And but I just saw there was a switch. Somebody is logged in as Zoom user. Who am I speaking with?
Bobby Greg, I'm not sure how to change that.
All right, well, I'll change it. We'll get
Okay,
to you
thank
here in just a minute.
Okay.
All right, I have received an order of dismissal of your case, Ms. Gray.
Okay.
Judge, I think it was the same situation. They sent it in with the clerk, so they couldn't actually tell us if it was dismissed before you were
Yes,
sent.
because I wasn't here.
Right.
Ms. Gray, apparently you've paid or worked out other accommodation with your landlord. That matter has been dismissed without prejudice. I just signed it on the record here about 2 minutes before you logged in. So
Okay.
you're good to go about the rest of your business.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right, I was hoping maybe somebody else would log in so I could get a couple of notices. Mr. Rosario has been quite patient. This case was set for 9:15. This is Guest Well LLC versus Jose Rosario. He is here. We've had some cases before. Rent is $8.25 per month. Mr. Rosario, I may have talked with you rates before, but I want to remind you again, as a defendant in a landlord tenant proceeding, including non-payment of rent, you have the following legal rights. You have the right to obtain counsel for representation in this matter. If you cannot afford an attorney, a legal aid attorney may be available to help you. And Attorney McBauer is here from Western Michigan Legal Services. You have a right to trial by a jury or by